Warning: the following contains explicit language and subject matter that may not be suitable for younger listeners, church folk, and people who enjoy kale smoothies.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Pod Amongst Men. I'm your host, Steve B., and this is Coffee Break Conversations for the 21st Century. This is episode 60. My guest tonight is Neek Rusher, a.k.a. Old Head Wildin'. He's one of the hosts of 36 Chambers of Fatherhood podcast, along with his co-host, Scuba Vel. These two gentlemen, they had a good show. They had a great something going on, and it's really something that inspired me to start this very podcast. So just hearing them talk about the everyday struggles that dads face and some of the challenges we go through, it really helped me at a time when, you know, I was struggling to find my footing as a father. So it's a great pleasure for me to have him here tonight, even though he's not technically here. I have him on Zoom. We're having a little video conference, but it was good to finally get to talk to the man for, you know, a good full conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you find it educational. Either way, I hope you get something out of it, because I really enjoyed talking to Neek. And yeah, this is my conversation with Neek Rusher, a.k.a. Old Head Wildin'. I hope you guys enjoy.
COVID-19 and everything.
I'm gaining some serious weight in case we lose some food. I'm gonna have some backup reserves right down in the old gut. You know?
I hear that.
Yeah, you can't do much these days.
Yeah, I all I do is go to work, because, you know, like I told you before, I'm an essential worker, so I'm out in the field. But now, since things are getting a little serious, and I had a slight little cold or a little flu symptoms,
oh boy,
my manager was like, nah, you stay in the house. He
said
you work from home.
Oh, yeah, so you can still do your job from home. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good you're getting paid and everything, but that sucks. You know, you can't just sit home and relax.
Nah. I got the laptops up, people calling, I'm helping them remotely and everything like that. So, you know, it's IT work.
Yeah. Nah, my job, we go in there and these guys act like nothing's going on. Just standing over you, like up on you, like, yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? You mind if I sneak by? I guess it doesn't matter now, man. Jesus Christ. Coughing malaria down my neck and everything. But
the kids are home, right?
Yeah, my son's been home for 2 weeks now.
He's a young boy, right?
Yeah, he's 9. He's in 3rd grade.
9?
And
okay.
They're saying they're probably it looks like they're going to have school shut for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's going to be an extended summer.
Yeah, but I wonder, what are they going to do with all these kids now in the following year? Does everybody just get pushed back a grade? Because then you're still going to have the kids coming into kindergarten. You know, there's going to be 1 year where there's like an overlap. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, with all this online stuff, they should be promoting these kids.
I hope so, man. But it's going to be tough because, you know, I mean, I don't know if you've seen, like, you got a daughter. It ain't the same as
4 of
them.
them.
You got 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, gee,
college, high school, junior high school, and kindergarten.
Yeah, listen, we're gonna get into all that. I don't want to give away all the good stuff right off the bat.
Okay.
But yeah. But anyway, so I got to tell you straight off the bat, you know, thanks for doing this, man.
Thank you for having me.
It was definitely you and Scoob that kind of started me on this journey, you know?
Yeah, and you went there, like, out of all the people that came through that we kind of inspired to do their own podcast, like, you really went there and really building your brand up.
I'm trying, man. It's, you know, I'm sure, you know, it's an uphill battle every step of the way.
Right.
But I'm just trying to stay consistent right now. But
okay.
One of the things is that you guys were really... you called me at a time when I was really trying to kind of struggling, finding my footing with being a new father, you know, as a stepfather, and also a new husband. And just hearing other people talk about some of the same stuff that I was going through, man, that helped me out a lot. And it, you know, that's definitely, it made me feel like, you know what? You don't have to be like some friggin' famous comedian in LA to have a podcast. You could be a regular person and still, you could do something really good and real positive for other people.
Exactly. That's that's why I like what we were doing, you know, with 36 Chambers of Fatherhood. I mean, once, like I told you before, like, I'll talk to you about everything, you know, later. But hopefully we could return back.
Yeah, man, I hope
everything
so.
settles. Yeah, because that was, we were moving along.
Yeah.
But real life thing happens. Real life stuff happens. This is all a part about fatherhood and just having a family.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what you got to do to provide for that family, and if it means some things got to be put on hold for a second,
Absolutely.
that's what it is.
You gotta have
especially if they ain't making no money right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have
Bringing
your
in that
priorities
coin.
straight.
Exactly.
And that's the thing too. You might have to step back from something that you really love to take care of the things that you really, really love. The things that really do come first, and that's family.
Yes.
So, it's not easy. But so I take my hat off to you on that one.
Yeah, man. But other than that, I mean, salute to my partner, Scoop, and Adam, Harad, and
Shouts out to
wish him-
Scuba.
Yeah, man. Wish him well in his new journey that coming up and everything. So we'll see what happens come maybe the end of 2020, 2021. Yeah.
So listen, why don't you give the listeners a bit of your backstory? Like, tell them who you are, where you're from, what you do, all the good stuff.
All right. Go by Neek Rusher, aka Old Head Wildin', doing the things I like to do. Started off as a music producer. I'm from Harlem, New York City, born and raised. I've been doing music production for like over 20 plus years. I've had placements from Cameron, Trey Songz, overseas Japan. I work with Nego from A Bathing Ape, who also made Human Made and stuff. Independent artists that were coming up, a lot of songwriters, dope songwriters like Claude Kelly, who has the group Louis York. Who else? It's a bunch of them. A bunch of people came up. There's another bigger name artist that I've came across with in his early beginnings. Go by the name of Drake.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, that was something, man. Him and Trey Songz actually did a song over one of my beats, like way back in 2005, and that was also Trey Songz' song off his album. It was on the Coach Carter soundtrack. It was called About the Game.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I was doing a lot of recording, engineering work. I got caught up into that little side of the music production world. Had a studio out in Harlem High Studios. A lot of artists came through there. I worked with this kid named Poster Boy. He was from like the 106 and Park Freestyle Friday fame. He was from Harlem. I worked with him a lot. He eventually had got signed to Universal at the time. Who else? Did some stuff with Raekwon and Poster. Who else? Who else was cool back then? Serious Jones, battle rapper. Yeah, everybody know him. Worked with him a lot on a few of his projects. And from there, just was doing a lot of outside engineering work, for people. And still at the same time doing music production here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Wound up going to Full Sail University for a little bit, even after all of that stuff, just to see what it was like. And that was a good experience for me and stuff. So here I am. Oh, and the podcast, 36 Chambers of Fatherhood podcast, I started with my partner, Adam, Scoop, Harad. Who else? What else? I mean, just a lot of, different things.
You got some serious tech credentials, between production, doing IT, a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, your way around the PC, around the computer. I don't want to say PC.
Yes, the audio engineering, yes.
Yes, sir.
Self-taught, up until the whole Full Sail thing. Because the Full Sail situation, that was cool because I learned a lot about music theory that I didn't, learn on my own.
Yeah, that's a tough one to learn on your own.
Yeah, when I got the Full Sail, that's when I'm talking about, I was like, whoa. Like, if you take any producer that was learning music hands-on and then throw him in a classroom environment, it's a whole different experience.
Oh, yeah, totally different.
It's like, oh, man, what am I doing? Like,
yeah.
Especially learning music theory. So that was dope. And I still kept the tools and stuff that I learned and everything from there. So, here we are.
Here we are. I remember, being as an amateur musician back in the day, being in bands. Most guitarists, drummers, bassists, nobody really knows music theory. And every so often, you'll come across like one or two people that really know it. They know how to read, write music, and all the scales and the chords and all that stuff. And you could see it in their writing too. You could see like they have a full knowledge of it. So but it's tough, especially when someone who's self-taught. Like I'm the same way, especially with all everything on the computer. I actually give more credit to the people that are self-taught because you really learn things. You don't just like have somebody teach, like tell you, all right, you do this, you do that. Like you went through it, you go through, you learn it, and you absorb it. It's like by trial and error most of the time, and that's the way I think it really sticks in your head.
Yeah, it does. Especially when you learn by ear and stuff. 'Cause that's how I, eventually learned how to do the music, was by ear. And then once I started meeting musicians and stuff, and they would tell me, all right, this is how you do your chords. This is how you do your scales. Mm-hmm. And then once I got the full sale, that was like it. They gave me so much tools and stuff to learn ear training, more theory. And I'm still learning. I'm still teaching myself. I pick up music apps for music theory and still be teaching myself, because it's a good tool to have, especially when you're sitting in front of your tool.
Yeah.
And then to make music out of nothing. Because I'm a sample-based producer. I'm a hip-hop producer. Mm-hmm. Sampling is, that's me all day. But, like, now I'm trying to, just do more original pieces. So when you learn music theory, you know exactly where you're going.
Oh, absolutely. You're expanding your arsenal. You have all, like you said, all ththese tools. Now you're really giving yourself a chance to use them all.
Right.
So, you're from Harlem. Tell us a bit about what it was like, your life growing up, like how you became, Neek Rusher that we know, how you became the man you are today.
Oh man, well, growing up in Harlem was, it was cool. It was fun. Mm-hmm. It was fun. I lived uptown, downtown, on the east side of Harlem, and just like any other, fun coming up in the hood, getting into trouble. My parents. I had a very small family. Mother, father,
no
grandparents.
Brothers and sisters.
I have a sister. I have one sister.
Okay.
Yeah. So and most of my friends and stuff like that. Very small family, and I just did what any other normal kid would do, and then eventually, through high school, that's when I started getting into music more. When I met a good friend of mine, Paulie Bang, he really like taught me like how to make music and stuff from hip hop sampling perspective. And then eventually, the name Neek Rusher, it came from me from tagging.
I was gonna ask, how did that?
Yeah, I was out here
come
tagging, man. I was out here, being a what did they call it back in the days when you was a whack tag artist? I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name, but I was out here just tagging and stuff, and I just, making up names, had mad AKA names. And then Neek Rusher, actually, it was Waiter first.
Okay.
It was Waiter first before it became Neek Rusher. And how it became Neek Rusher was I was on my Steven Seagal, Above the Law. Oh, and I took it, I took his
classic
name.
Seagal.
Yeah, I took his name, Nico, and then I forgot how the Russia part came in, and it just all came together. It just stuck. And that's what people know me as. Some people know me as Party Man. Some people know me as Waiter. All my, back in the days, people still call me Waiter. They still call me that, or they even call me my nickname Tweet.
Damn, bro, you got a lot of names.
Oh yeah.
You like the man.
That's funny.
Go ahead.
No. I said a friend of mine the other day, I saw him on the block. He was like, "Yo, man, I don't be knowing what to call you anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? Neek Rusher, Party Man." I was like, "What you want me to call you by?" I said, "Whatever you know me as, man. It's all good."
They all work.
Yeah, right.
So, you're one of the things that the main way that I first heard of you is because you're a dad. You're a father, and this is something that you took serious enough. You
Right.
You and Scoob, you guys started 36 Chambers of Fatherhood.
Right.
And what is your story like as far as becoming a father goes? Like, when did you first become a dad?
Oh, I became a dad at age 31.
Okay.
My daughter, she just turned 13 too. Last week? Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, man.
Happy birthday.
So Yeah, right. She's a big girl, man. She lives in Boston, so I mean, at that time, I was up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Me and her moms, we were up and down at the time. I mean, we were together, then we were not together, and then 3 months after my daughter was born, like we just, separated for good. And that was that. We were co-parenting. She moved back to Boston and I stayed in New York,
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. I've seen that now from both sides, from the kid's perspective and from the parents' perspective.
Right.
It was like I grew up, my parents split when I was 3 years old. It was me and my sister. My pops went on to have a bunch more kids. Mm-hmm. But now, I'm married to a woman. She already had a son who's now my stepson. And I'm seeing the other end. I'm seeing, the effects that stuff has on him and everything, like the way it affects her. And I'm trying to find my place and everything. So it's a lot, man.
We're in a similar situation.
Yeah, I mean,
because my wife, she had 2 daughters.
Okay.
So, I came into that situation when they were 11 and 8. So.
Yeah, see, that's a little harder too, because they're a little older, they're more developed as people.
Yeah,
it's not like they're just babies and they just grow up knowing you.
Yeah, they got their own different styles and stuff, and no, go ahead, because I see you had other questions for that before. I don't want to jump the gun.
No, it's all good. We're just talking. But
okay.
No, that's a thing, and I don't think that people realize how complicated of a situation that really can be. I mean, everybody says it's not easy. I get that, but to be in it, you really experience all the little. It's, I don't want to say like the politics of it, but it kind of is. There's a lot of different.
It is politics.
Yeah,
it's politics.
There's a lot of different personalities and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
A lot of things you can't do. You can't that you can do if you had your own, biological child.
Absolutely. It's kind of like going in with a hand tie behind your back.
Mm-hmm. And you just gotta I'll wait my time.
Yeah.
And you'll figure things out. Like, how can I interject myself? And I'm still learning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still learning how to, just be a good husband and be a good father. I'm learning. And I learned a lot from my wife, in the beginning, because of the situation of what I was going through with, my first child's mother. We had a very tense moment. And I got to the point at one point where I want to throw my hands in the air.
Yeah.
And then my wife was like, nah, I'm not going to stand by and allow you to think like this, because it's not your daughter's fault. You got to, get out your way.
Yeah. But those kind of situations can really do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
it was tense.
Yeah. You just spin in your wheels after a certain point in time. But I think your wife was right. Like, it's so much better that you fought through it, because I've seen guys that maybe didn't have that that steady hand behind them to tell them, like, no, don't give up now, like, because I've seen guys that kind of just said, I can't do anything now, and it's just now it's so far gone from them,
right.
like the kids don't even know who they are, they don't even want to know who they are.
Right, because she was like, I'm not gonna stand by as a woman with daughters and allow you to even think like this.
Yeah.
And then I look at, the situations that, she was going through with her prior situation. And then I started to understand, the role of the single mom and why, like, a lot of things are the way they are. Like, why it helped me understand my first child's mom.
Yeah. You get that insight now.
Yeah. And it made me understand it. And then eventually, I just flipped the switch, and this was like, okay, I'm gonna turn over a new leaf.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've been since then. We haven't had no issues. Everything is smooth. No problems.
No, it's fantastic, man.
Yeah,
it's tough too, especially because there's history between you and the ex, and then now there's a kid involved, and this kid, this is all they know. A lot of it involves, especially us as men, just swallowing our pride.
Oh yeah, big. Oh yes, swallowing the pride. Pause. Pause. Pause on that. But definitely swallowing the pride is it's heavy.
Yeah.
You know, so
It gets you so far too, and especially it keeps you from, from making mistakes. Maybe saying something in a, in the heat of anger, saying something you might regret. Like just that patience we gain, it's invaluable. You can't replace that.
Yeah, I was wilding.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right. No pun intended. Yeah, I was wilding, man. But my wife helped me out through it, and she still coaches me. She still makes sure I'm thinking logical.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to her, man. That's love right there. That's what a partner's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I give all the credit in the world to my wife. There's so many times she kind of talked me off the ledge, so to speak, and I'm not even dealing with an ex. I got my own issues.
Right.
But so what are some, like, as far as this goes, like, what are some things you know now that you wish you knew back then? It's like if you could talk to young Neek.
And young Neek.
Yeah. Like
a lot of things.
Yeah.
I need to take the microphone over this.
Oh, it's getting real now.
Yeah. I would tell young Neek, I'm like, listen, invest more.
Yeah.
I'd have told him to go get that Amazon and Apple stock. You know what I'm saying? Word up, stop. Definitely the investing part.
Mm-hmm.
Invest money more and pay your taxes on time. True story, man. Pay your taxes on time, man. I tell anybody now with that, IRS ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? When they come to collect, and it'll be at the worst time of your life too. And it's like,
Always
bam,
is.
out of nowhere. So I'll tell a young nigga, listen, man, make sure you pay your taxes on time. Make sure you invest more. And
a shout out to my friend Dom on that one. Dom, do your taxes, bro. Come on. What are you doing?
Yeah. You got to do your taxes, man, and just invest more. Make your money save you. However that saying goes. My wife says it better than I do, but yeah. But definitely, I would have told him to invest more, save more.
What about as a dad, as an experienced dad now, talking to a young dad?
Well, it all depends because it all depends on how they entered into the situation. What is it a?
Well, I mean,
is it a fresh new situation, huh?
Like you, young Neek dad.
Oh,
like if you could talk to your younger self when your first kid was first born, is there anything you know now that would have saved you trouble back then? It's just want to make you think.
It's tough because, I'm still learning and I don't know because I don't know because it's one of those things because if I didn't not meet my wife, but if I didn't have the wife that I had, or maybe let's say if I wasn't married, I probably would been still doing knucklehead stuff.
You could curse. It's okay.
I could curse? Okay.
Yeah.
I still probably would have been doing knucklehead shit.
Yeah.
I still probably would have been going back and forth, with my first child's mom. So that's what I'm saying. I don't, the only thing that I probably, I probably been like, I told him like, look, man, you got to do what's morally right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, if all you need to do is just provide for your child and that's all, like get on your feet. Get on your feet. Make it happen. Send what you can send, and remove the relationship part and just get the other person, get her out of your head. The relationship is over. It's done. It's dead. Whatever she's done to you, whatever, just let it go.
I got you.
I probably tell them just let it go.
Yeah.
Don't even, that doesn't matter anymore. What matters is your child that you have together. You got to, help her.
Yeah, I think that's a hard thing too for men. Like you feel that we hang on to that pain, even when long
absolutely.
after it's over.
Especially if if you keep finding out stuff too.
Oh,
See, that was my problem.
That slow drip of information.
Oh my God, man! I just kept finding out things, man, and I just was like, oh man, I got to set it on you now, and like just blind rage.
Yeah.
So, I definitely tell him like, just do what's morally right, man. You know where I get that from? My dad. That's what my dad told me. You know,
shout out to old Head Wild.
Yeah, exactly. He told me that, man. I went to visit him in the mix of having all that turmoil one year, and my dad is still in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm 44 years old. You know, he's still there, still drops jewels on me and my sister, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just asked him when he was dealing with my moms, you know, because they were young when they got together.
How
How
old?
did you? She was 18, he was 22.
Yeah, my parents were 22.
Yeah, and then they wound up splitting like when I was around like 9.
Mm-hmm.
So and it was a lot of tense moments there, but then he got his act together, you know, over time. And I would ask him, I was like, what you know, how did you do it? Because I know how my mom's is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how did you do it? And he just said, man, listen, I just had to make sure that, you know, I kept the focus on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything
big.
I done was focused on YouTube. I didn't let any other foolishness that was going on, you know, get in the way and blindside me. So he just said, you got to do what's morally right, man. You can't just have your child out there doing whatever or thinking whatever. You got to step up, you know. And that's what he told me. So I was like, okay.
Well, that's big too, especially like as far as putting aside whatever the issue is with, you know, with your ex and thinking of the kid first. And the most important thing is not putting the kids in the middle.
Right.
Because I mean, I personally lived that. Like I was put in the middle. You know, when my parents got divorced, my dad, you know, had a lot of resentment, and he would try to use us against my mom, and you know, he would say all this bullshit to us. You know, that I learned way down the road that none of it was true, but it was just, you know, he was still hurt. He wasn't able to let go of the pain of what happened, so he was trying to always get back at her whatever way he could. And that usually meant through us. And that ended up being like a weight we carried, you know. And now as a father, as a stepfather, but a father, as far as I don't want to look at it like being just a stepdad. Like I'm going to do the right thing. But as far as that goes, I would never want to put a kid through that because I know how it made me feel.
Right.
And that takes a certain level of maturity, you know. I mean, granted, I don't have an ex to try to get back at. In that sense, but
thank God you don't.
I know I count myself very lucky.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, I see that there is, you know, with my wife and her ex, like, yeah, there's always going to be bad blood at some point, but, you know, they do what they can to keep it civil because it's for the sake of my stepson, for my son Tyler. And it really shows, like, they're able to swallow their pride and put all those bad feelings aside. And, you know, he's benefiting from all that.
Right.
It's funny too, asking about what advice you would give your younger self. It's kind of like a paradox. It's kind of like, because if you knew then what you know now, would your life still have turned out the same way? Would you end up knowing now what you know?
Right. That's what I said. That's like a tricky question. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to, you know.
No, I like to see how people respond to that one.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that one because it's I mean, you know, going through certain things. I mean, you have to go through it.
Yeah.
You have to go through it, and
even the bad times.
Right. Yeah, you have to go through it, and then you become wise. Then you're like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So then you could pass that jewel on to your child now. Like, hey, look, I wouldn't advise you. Matter of fact, this is what I would tell, you know, if I had a son. Mm-hmm. Like, listen, be careful who you lay down with, man. You know,
definitely.
That's just it. Be careful. You know, make sure you and this person, y'all really are into each other. Hold on for a second.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
No worries. What do you got? You got a ghost in the house?
No. I got family in the back room.
I know. I seen somebody crawling on the floor behind you before.
See? Yeah. Just think she was low. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you got to go through the pain.
Yeah, that's what builds character.
Right, and then you could pass the jewels on to your next of kin. Let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna show you the hole, but if you jump in it, I'm gonna give you a lot. Yeah, it's on you. I'm gonna help you out once, but if you keep jumping in that hole, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah.
You have to figure your own way out of that.
Well, we all know there's people out there that, they got to touch a fire just to know it's hot. You know what I mean? And it's tough, too. I mean, I remember being young. There's plenty of stuff that people told me that I didn't listen to that I'm like, you know what? They warned me about that, and I didn't listen.
Right.
So, you not only you have your own kids, but like you said, you're a stepfather also.
That's correct.
So that's, now, like I said, that's my boat that I'm in. I feel like it can sometimes be a really thankless job, but it's a really valuable job.
Yeah.
Like, do you find that this is something that I've always worried about? If you have your own biological kids and then you have stepkids all in the same house, do you find that it's challenging? Do you have to manage the relationships differently with both? Like, how does that work for you? Because this is something that I've always been curious about.
Okay, because my baby is my 6-year-old, she's young. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the younger child, you gotta pay more attention and do a lot of things, and you gotta teach them. Like the older ones, like I just for me, I'm real laid back. I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things my wife was saying. She said, "You gotta interject more." I know she's listening right now somewhere. You gotta interject more. But you like you said earlier, you trying to find your place. You're not trying to be that. I got a corny stepdad. Like he always be talking. Like what are you talking about now? You always trying to. You're always in our face doing something. I never really was that. I'm really cool, laid back, and you can still talk to me. And I have I'm cool. We could sit down and shoot the breeze about whatever you want. But like when it comes to like my 6-year-old, because she's young, I'm like more on her.
Yeah, it
like,
kind of necessitates that.
Yeah, I have to be, And then my wife, she's really right there. So, and then I say what I need to say, and then I step back.
Mm-hmm. I have, it's tough too, because sometimes, you might, in my case, sometimes I might say something, all right, listen, you can't do that. This is why, why don't you just sit down, watch TV instead of doing X, Y, Z. But if I might get overridden by my wife, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I might get overruled.
Oh yeah, all day.
And sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
So
even like the offending part.
Yeah.
When the person is wrong, it's like, oh, you gotta take that. You gotta take that L, man. That's what I learned too.
Yeah, that's been tough, but I feel like I'm steadily working at it. I know for me the thing that I always am constantly telling myself is like, you got to be present, because I'm sure like you get home after a long day of work. Like, I know we had talked briefly about this through IG. You get home and all you want to do is just relax, but the kid is excited to see you.
Yes.
So it's like you gotta, even if you're dead tired, you gotta show them that you're there, that you give a damn.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You can't push them away because you've been gone all day. They happy to see you. It took me a minute to adjust to that.
I'm still working on it.
It's taking me a minute. Like when my 6-year-old, as soon as I come through the door, it's like, Daddy, Daddy, can I get a glass of water? Can I get some juice? Can I get some snacks? I'm like, I just got through the door.
Yeah.
Drop the bags? Can I take my sneakers off? Wash my hands? The COVID is running rampant. I don't want to give you COVID,
That's been a tough one now, especially since there's no school.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's waking up together.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's home in the house except me. I get home. Next thing
Every day is a weekend.
Oh, my God. I'm getting bum rushed as soon as I walk through the door. Literally bum rushed. Like, bro, come on. You can't be touching me now. I got to go put these clothes in the wash. I got to get it clean. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, where's your head at?
Hold on. The moment I'm going to be looking at you if you start sneezing.
Yeah. But, it's easy for us to forget, too. As a little kid, that's a sign that they really love us. They want us in their life, that they actually care that we're home. Instead of just them sitting on the couch, barely looking up from the iPad or something. Like,
exactly.
The kid gets up to come see us. That's not something that we should take lightly. And
no, because it quickly fades away.
Yeah,
it quickly fades. I seen it with my own eyes. Like it go from that excitement, and then as the teenage years roll around, it's like it's still love. the love is still there.
It's just a
But
little
then
softened.
Yeah, it's a little softer, right?
Yeah, it's a little dampened.
Right. So enjoy and get it while it's hot. Yeah.
One of the
Definitely.
things that me and my wife always talk about, people always, oh, when are you guys gonna have kids? When are you guys gonna have a new baby or something? Especially, my wife's Cuban. Everybody's always asking us that.
Okay.
They just want to know when the new baby's coming because everybody else doesn't matter. It's a new baby.
And the plans? In the works or not?
Honestly, for me, the thing that always goes through my head is, so my son Tyler, I've seen people that, come from divorced parents and one of the parents is remarried and now, the parent and that new spouse, they have kids of their own. And the older kid now sometimes can feel like, where do I really belong? It's like I'm not with my biological dad and I'm with my mom, but she's got a new kid with this guy. So like that kid, I worry that the kid could find themselves in some kind of like weird limbo. Mm-hmm. And I know as a parent, there's no way it wouldn't feel different. As much as I might try to fight it and try to be mindful of it, I wouldn't want him to feel like he didn't matter as much to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's always something that I worry about. And it's like, listen, we have a kid. He's already 9 years old. Like, why start over now? Like, let's focus on him. Let's get him straight,
Oh, yeah.
But it's tough. It's always a conflict. I'm always a little torn about it.
Everybody be like, oh, you going to go try for the boy? Nope.
Yeah, nah, I'm cool, man. We got one.
Nope. Yeah.
I'm teaching him martial arts in the park right now. Like, why start over with diapers,
Yeah, nah, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
We done. We like, nah, listen, we trying to enjoy that boat cruise when you get to the senior ages.
Yeah.
Nah, we talking about, well, we 60 years old with a 14-year-old. Nah, not in your life.
It's all good. If you're 60 years old, you wouldn't be talking about getting a retirement home in Branson or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Yeah, man.
That's always been a struggle with me. And I personally, maybe on a little slightly darker note, like there's always going to be part of me that resents my my biological father's family. It's like, listen, I don't want to continue that line of ugliness on. Like, I got a kid now. I'm trying to do a good job with him, teaching the right thing. Like, let's leave that in the past. You know what I mean? Kind of break those ties. But that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
It's this is it's never an easy conversation to have. And then there's always some jerk off at a family party. So, oh, when are you gonna have another kid? Don't worry about it.
Well, tell him, well, listen, when I have that other kid and I'm sending him to you, sending you could pay for all the Pampers, you could pay for all the child care, you could do all of that.
You help me babysit this kid?
Yeah, exactly. Nah. I say, for me, the whole thing about the parenting experience, it's because children are beautiful. Mm-hmm. They having child. They're beautiful.
It's a beautiful mess.
Yeah, it's the outside world that's the problem. It's the adults who are in charge of like these systems, childcare, what else? The food industry, and just dealing with other kinds of people out in the world that your child got to come across, other parents and how they raise their child. And then you always have to be like right front and center to protect your child, So that's the thing that makes parenting a little bit tough.
Yeah, scary.
It's like, oh man, I don't want to do this, especially when you got a daycare center telling you, yeah, we're gonna charge you $2,500 a month. Yeah, that's a true story.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, New York City.
Shout out to my in-laws.
Yeah,
I don't have to pay that $2,500 a month, thank God.
Yeah, I mean we didn't have, but that was a price that was thrown at me.
Yeah,
and another one that was around the corner for me was like, we need about $1,800 a month. That's insane. And they said, nah, we don't provide. You have to provide the lunch and everything for your child.
$1,800 a month, you can't give the little bastard lunch. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on for a second.
All right, no worries.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nuts. So that's why I was like, nah, that's it. I'm done. I got my 2. Well, actually 4. I'm all right.
Yeah.
My wife like, no, we're gonna get a dog. She keeps bothering me for a male dog.
We'll get a big Saint Bernard, big dog. That way it doubles as a protection and a babysitter. You know what I mean?
That's what she wants. She wants a dog.
Get like that old like Peter Pan style dog, or like a big sheepdog.
Yeah.
So are there things that you struggle with on like a regular basis, like that? Like I was saying, like the thing you got to keep reminding yourself, like, hey, like for me, like Steve, be present. Don't, even if you're tired, be there. You know what I'm saying?
Stop yelling.
It's a good one.
That's my problem. Stop yelling.
Yeah.
Put my wife said, put your eyebrows down. That's what my wife says. She like, put your eyebrows down. You know what I'm saying? Stop yelling. Be calm. Like, you gotta remember, like, when dealing with the little one, she's, because she has that energy, you gotta, and we old and finished. We dealing with other adults at the job, people in the streets, all the stuff that's been happening now. It wears on you. So when you come in the house and you have like that younger child energy attacking you, it's
that
like
crazy energy.
I should not so much attacking, but just
No, I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's the right word.
It's not. We're not saying it's a bad thing. It's just kids that got a lot of energy. They're bouncing off the walls. They're happy to see you. It's sometimes it can feel like an attack. It's like when you have a dog and they're so excited they jump on you.
Exactly.
They're kind of like attacking you, but with love.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like when she do certain things. Like, let's say, for instance, if she has some juice, and she spills it, instead of me like getting like excited, because when she spills her juice, sometimes she come to me to tell me, and then you see the little tears start coming out because she thinks I'm gonna yell. Mm-hmm. So I stop yelling, but she still comes to me and tells me that she drops her juice and everything. So I just help her clean it up. So I got to keep telling myself to just be cool. Just be cool. There's no reason to get all excited and over the top about things anymore. Mm-hmm. If somebody does something, just like listen first. And that's another thing I keep telling myself. Just listen first before I run my mouth and start shooting from the hip. Just say, all right, cool. Let me see what's going on here before I blow my top.
That's a good one.
But nah, just be cool, man. That's why I keep telling myself every day, even when dealing with adults. Just be cool. Person that they get all upset about certain things, you don't entertain them. You just say, okay, cool. I'm trying to get to a Zen-like place in my life.
I was doing good for a while, and I kind of blew it yesterday. I had like you have like the car keys, and you could take the clicker off.
Yeah.
So I had it disconnected from the keys. Me and my wife had to go pick up something in town. So I had it set in the dash, but the way it laid down, it's the same color as the dash. Oh. So I went to look to see if it was there, and it looked like it was gone. So I'm like, yo, babe, where's the clicker? Like, did you move it? She's like, no, I didn't move it. And I'm looking around, and I'm literally looking right past this thing because it blends in. So I'm saying, well, clearly somebody moved it because it's not. And then I realized it was there. I was like, oh, here it is. Clearly somebody moved it.
Now you feeling like shit.
Yeah.
You like,
now I gotta hold my head. I'm like, all right.
And she should have mushed you.
Yeah.
Like,
she wanted
to. I told you.
Oh boy, she wanted to bad.
Yeah.
I can't fault her for that. That was my bad. But sometimes it comes out of us. So it's like you said, it's a struggle. It's something that I think we all need to work on. I don't think anybody's perfect.
I guess that's just being a dad. Like,
yeah.
We have that. When a child hears our voice, they just instantly, we could shake them up with our voice.
Oh yeah, you just get that perfectly placed, like that loud word.
Yeah.
Whose is this?
And that's it.
Everybody jumps.
And then that's when the tears start.
Yeah.
There's no real reason to do physical discipline. It's like I could use my voice, man.
Yeah.
That's
Go ahead. No,
I'll say that was one of our jokes we had on the show. We would ask our guests fade or time out.
Yep.
And we'll see. Like, we used to get a lot of good answers, man. Mm-hmm. We had people like, no, we do more of the time out. And we had people that's we do the fades.
Yeah, see, I don't even do either. I never did the timeout thing, and certainly I would never lay my hands on him. But it's more about I sit him down and I talk to him and try to kind of talk him into a corner where he realizes it's like you can't talk yourself out of this situation. Like, you admit you did something wrong and you apologize, and you try to do better in the future.
Right.
But it's tough sometimes. I with my son, like I don't come in, I don't scream at him or anything. But this is like the dad thing I do. I walk in and say, who was eating here? So, yeah, who turned the switch on? And that drives my wife crazy. She says, who left the switch on? Like, why don't you just talk to the kid? You don't have to ask the question, stupid rhetorical questions. But
she got logical on you.
I know. I said, yeah, babe, you can't just let me have this. Come on. Like, what?
Nah, you can't. Nah, my wife never lets me have it. Nah, that's dumb.
But that's good. That keeps us sharp. Keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you brought up the podcast. Like,
yeah.
Why don't we talk about how that podcast started?
All right. Adam, I met him through the group he was managing, the Doppelgangers.
Okay.
And so we became, good friends.
What kind of group is that? What do you mean?
Rap group, hip hop rap group, the Doppelgangers. Yeah.
Okay.
So I met them first, and then I met Adam. And then me and Adam, everybody, we became all cool and stuff. I come to the shows and everything. Me and the Doppelgangers did music together. I'm on like a couple of their albums and stuff, on some music production and vocal skits and stuff. So over time, me and Adam got cool. So he had came to me like, what is it, like late 2017, and he was like, yo, let's get together and why don't we do a podcast together about fatherhood? I said, oh, that's dope. So cool, we got together. We was coming up with mad different names for the show, and I wrote down 36 Chambers of Fatherhood on the paper. I was just like, yo, I'll put that in the mix. And then I sent it to him. I think I sent him like 20 names at the time for the show. And then he sent like 20 names. And then we were going back and forth with the names until 36 Chambers of Fatherhood just beat out everything. Because it symbolizes who we are. Like, we fathers, we like b-boy, hip-hop, we're into the culture of music. So, and at the same time, it pays homage to, like, Wu-Tang and all of that stuff, and how they were about the children. We're about the children too, and stuff like that. And we just wanted to bring that more of that awareness of good parenting, good from the father's perspective. So we put it together. We did our show with my man Steve. Shout out to him because he gave us the green light to come down to his spot and film and record. And then eventually we did it at the other spot in Harlem for a little while. And then we had guests come through. Like two of our guests was Sean C., producer, big time producer, engineer, Loud Records A&R. Then we had Torre come through.
Yeah, Torre on there. That was that was a good get.
Yeah, that was a good one. Then we had Anthony Donahue, the Knicks fan, super Knicks fan. And I think he has his own like podcast and stuff too. So it was definitely good experience to have the guys come through and tell their story. They wanted to come through and tell their story and what they went through as a father. When Sean C came through, he brought his son with him.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so that was dope. So like I said before, hopefully we can recharge this.
Yeah. What was you guys had that? It was a lawyer. He's the divorce lawyer.
Oh, the divorce lawyer. Oh,
yeah.
Man, what was it?
Because I remember
he
was on Premium Pete, I think.
Yes, he was. I think he was. Yeah.
And he was on that after yours, I believe.
I think so.
I might be wrong, but I could have sworn, or maybe I just heard it after. I don't know. But I was like, oh, my dude's got him first. I had to give him credit.
Yeah, man, we was we had my guy Kamal Nuru. He had barbershops and stuff, Levels Barbershops. We had him on there. Who else? And just different fathers from different walks come through.
What would you say the goal of the show was, if anything?
To just any new father and any, father that has, kids already, to just, it's like guys getting together and sharing their experiences, and learning from one another. That's what we wanted to get from the show. And just, guys getting together, they're shooting the breeze like, yeah, because as men, we don't talk enough.
Yeah.
We don't let out our feelings.
We don't go below the surface enough.
Yeah, we don't. So, like, to have a subject where we all could relate, like how me and you could talk about, the kids coming through, having all that energy, what we going to do. Sometimes we could talk candid, when we all together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I want to slap him upside his head, man. He pissed me off. These are the things that we don't talk about enough. So that's what, what we wanted to bring with the show, and have more fathers come through from all different kinds of walks of life, sharing their experiences, whether it was good or bad. How did they overcome it?
Yeah, sometimes those bad experiences can teach you even more.
Exactly. So we wanted to have people like that come through. You got like a lot of fathers out there that deal with like the whole the family court system.
Yeah.
How you overcome that. For guys who are going through, for guys going through that. We were following this Facebook group called Black Fathers, and man, you should see the type of stuff that
Bro,
was
I've heard
being,
horror stories.
The questions that were being asked on it was a Facebook. I mean, it's still popping. It got I think 50K members.
Damn.
Of fathers just coming through, sharing their different experiences. I'm talking about they were letting it hang, and just throwing all kinds of questions out there. Like, yo, fellas, what you think about this? My baby moms did it. Like all kinds of just straight up like horror stories, good stories, everything. So that's kind of what we were doing. We wanted to do with 36 Chambers of Fatherhood, but like in the video sense of fathers coming through, and just telling it, talking about it, letting the world know, like, fathers, we here, man.
Well, that's a beautiful thing too. Like when you start a podcast, it's like the listeners, they get to know you guys as people, even if sometimes it could be like a one-way relationship, like where you might listen to 15 episodes of you guys, but you guys don't know the listeners that way. Yeah. But it's like as a listener, I can get to know you, and I could trust that I would agree with you, or I know the things you're saying are coming from a good place. Yeah. And it's good. You could build up that rapport with people, and like you said, when you're sharing stories of different guys, you have different guests on like that, you get to hear this different perspective and the different experience. Right. And it's good because it's not just new people every time. You have to get the constant. You and Scoob, you're the main hosts, so we get trust that you guys are going to approach these things from the place of goodwill and
man,
good intentions.
I gotta talk to him when we get over here, man. I gotta talk to him. I definitely gotta talk to him, man. He's definitely all right. He's gonna be all right. But I was like, man, we either we come back to this at a later time, because it definitely was a good. We was there.
Yeah, you guys were doing it.
Yeah, we started to cook, man. Like, yo, I could already see it. All types of wild fathers coming through, sharing all kinds of different experiences, and me myself just learning from them.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, just doing this, and I'm not even only talking about fatherhood, just about everything in general. I learned so much. Right.
That's what I like about your show too. Like, you got different topics. Like, I'm like, wow, that's an ill topic right there.
One of the big things I wanted to do was to try to get people from different walks of life, as many different types of stories from people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, look, I'm just some dude who grew up in the suburbs. Like, I don't want to just get guys like me on here. I want to get as many different types of people. I got, my boyfriend was born in Cuba. Just like my wife, like, came in here, told his story about where he's from, what it was like coming to a new country, learning a new language, Like, I got all different stories from different people, and I feel like that's the kind of thing that not enough people actually get. Yeah. You don't get those new perspectives. It makes you look at your own life with fresh eyes. Yeah. And that's really something I wanted to kind of cultivate, especially now in this day and age, where it seems like a lot of the that traditional wisdom that we gain from, like, older generations, like our fathers' generations. A lot of that stuff doesn't really apply to the world we live in today.
No, it
And
don't.
it seems like if ever there was a point in time when we could kind of question those things and maybe revamp the way we look at the world, this seems like it would be it.
Yeah, my dad always told me. He said, "Don't do what I did. Don't do what none of our generation did." Because we were crazy. So he tell me all the time. He said we were crazy. We would think of all kinds of wild stuff to do.
Oh yeah.
Well,
listen, me and you were old enough to remember that we had a lot of years before the internet came about. Like, growing up back then was very different than the way our kids are growing up now.
Yeah, I know. And just my 17 was different. Me being 17 was different than my daughter's 17.
100%. Yeah, that's something. Go ahead.
Cause I was saying I was on my own when I was 17.
Yeah.
And
you learn fast that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But one of the tough things too is like we're saying, the stuff that I learned back in those days may not work for the world that my son's going to grow up in.
No.
Like, look at how fast things have changed just in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It literally is like a different world. So the rules have changed. The society's changed, and I'm trying to keep up just so I could be that steady hand, that support for him, and try to be the best role model I can be. Sometimes it's not easy. The way that I look at the world, maybe I have to rethink a lot of things. Maybe I have to reevaluate my own past and the lessons I took away from certain situations. Maybe I have to look at myself and admit that maybe there's some times that I fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's tough, and it's not easy.
I'm always saying I fucked up. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have did that shit, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying?
You ever wake up in the middle of the night? You ever wake up in the middle of the night thinking about something you did like 10 years ago? Like,
every day.
Just embarrassed for no reason,
Every single day, I'm always thinking, and it's like, and they keep saying, don't dwell on the past, but you have to because it's right there, knowing that you. It's like, dude, you fucked up.
I was like, I hope I never see them again. Good
right,
God.
Right, exactly.
You're standing in the shower just mad at yourself.
Yeah, I'm telling you, every day. But, that's what keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, it does. But those things, like, we shouldn't forget, I think, about those things because those are the lessons that are going to remind us not to make those same mistakes again.
Right.
But it's a constant struggle. I'm like you said, I'm always learning. I'm never going to know everything. Every day I'm going to learn something new.
Right.
I think that's... Oh, go ahead.
No. So, where you from?
I'm from Jersey.
Jersey,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I'm in Central Jersey. I'm in Somerville.
Okay.
But I was born in Philly, so I was raised a little bit in South Jersey until I moved up here.
Okay.
And then, this is it. I work in Jersey City, so I'm back and forth between here and there every day.
All right.
For the last 15 years.
I don't know why I thought you was upstate.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'd really be on quarantine if I was upstate, let me tell you. It's like you said, you're an essential worker. They classify me as an essential worker, although I would beg to differ.
Yeah.
I don't think building apartment buildings, in the city is really essential. Right. But here we are.
Yeah, right.
How you guys holding up through all this quarantine?
Well, I'm okay. My wife was ready to bust somebody over the head. Ready to bust my daughter's school teachers and everybody over the head. But for the most part, everybody's okay. But it's just like with anything else. People want to get out. They want to do things. They want to be confined to the house. All day, all night. Especially for the little one. Yeah, she's here, so I'm quite sure she's itching to get back. The school.
Especially every day it's nice out.
Yeah. And around her friends and stuff, so, other than that, cool.
Yeah, just think about it, though. I mean, at least now they made, like, a Facebook Messenger for kids. I see my son's able to talk to some of his little buddies from school and stuff. Right. They're on there playing Roblox together and whatnot. So at least it's, it's not like these without contact completely, but you could see it. You see it on their face, right? You get home and they're just, and like a little fiend.
Like everybody's like, I can't wait to get back outside.
Yeah. I took my son to the park on Friday. He said he wants to learn martial arts. I'm like, all right, I'll teach you a little bit. I'll teach you what I know. So we're out there on the basketball court, like right in the middle. I'm like, listen, just don't touch nothing. We're going to be fine. And I see people out there walking around, making him like bow and stuff like that. He's like doing his dance, and my wife is calling me. He's like, "What are you doing out there? You're not supposed to." What's that?
No, I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say, what style of martial arts?
I grew up. I learned Aikido and a little bit of Taekwondo.
Okay.
I learned a lot of like Japanese, like traditional, like the old school style, and like a little bit of jujitsu, but not.
That's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, I did like the Japanese style jiu-jitsu, so it's not, I don't think it's as effective as Brazilian.
Yeah.
But Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like the MMA, like UFC style, is really what you see. Yeah, that's what you see taking over, and it's for good reason too, just because it's really effective.
It's so crazy now that this thing happened. I wonder where we go from here, because I was like 2-3 months in.
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then all of this stuff happened with with the COVID and all that. So now it's like, where do we go from here when all this is over?
I mean, I guess the best we could do is try to pick up where we left off. Yeah. What else is there really?
But now a lot of people are gonna be shell shocked, and they're gonna be like, "Nah, I don't want to touch you.
Well,
I got the COVID." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't want to.
A lot of the doctors and the heads of like the CDC and all that stuff, they're kind of saying now like, this is going to create like a new normal. Like we might just have to look at this the way we look at the flu now. Yeah, like it's just like a seasonal virus.
Right. Like now when we greet each other, it's greeting each other with elbows and head nods and bows and stuff like that. And like I said, in jiu-jitsu, we are on each other, like rolling around, locks and all of that stuff,
sweating on each other and stuff.
Exactly, sweating and all of that stuff. So that's one thing I don't even know what I'm gonna do now.
We're gonna do like the movie Demolition Man. We're gonna be like, ha, like that shit. Be using the 3 seashells.
Yeah, I'm telling you, So a lot of people is going to be shell shocked. I don't know. I wonder how the restaurant industry is going to thrive again.
It'll come back. People are still going to want to eat out, so the demand is going to be there.
Right.
But it's a question of whether people are going to have money to spend on a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. The economy took a big hit.
I tell you one thing though. This right here just showed you your needs versus your wants.
Yeah.
Because now all you needed was food and shelter. Now you can't go to the restaurants. You can't go shopping. You can't buy just a bunch of frivolous things anymore. All you have money for is to pay them bills and buy food and go your ass right back in the house.
And that's all that matters.
And that's it. That's all that matters.
And isn't it amazing too, like with everybody being stuck at home, just going outside for a walk? How enjoyable that could be when you've been stuck in the house all this time. You know what I mean?
I bet you, a lot of people are going to be like, I bet your ass get out now. Get out the house now.
Yeah.
So.
You're riding them bikes now for the first time in 2 years.
Exactly. A lot of gym memberships might get canceled.
No, I'm thinking about canceling mine.
I'm telling you, people probably done brought weights and stuff, exercise equipment, bands in their house, yoga mats, kettlebells, all kinds of stuff probably in people's houses now.
Oh, yeah.
And they starting to see it like, what? I ain't paying no $40, $50 a month for this. Work out in the house.
Especially now, all these trainers put up YouTube videos of all these like workout routines and stuff. So they're kind of giving it away for free.
Yep.
So what are they going to do now when everybody's allowed back out? They're like, I want to pay all this money? You can just do what I've been doing for free.
Yep. People are going to start thinking like that. They're going to be like, yo, I was wasting mad money.
Yeah, big time.
So, I mean, in a way, this, coronavirus kind of shook up things for the, unfortunate. And, you just got to look at the good side and the bad side of it.
Always.
So,
the last thing I want to ask you, we kind of touched on a little bit before.
Yeah.
But it was like, if there is one piece of advice, something that I think I would say would be maybe specific to you and your experience, if there was like one little like pearl of wisdom that you could give to young guys, especially young fathers today, what do you think it would be? Instead, not just about investing, but about
I know.
being a dad. You know what I mean?
Take the time to, how should I say it? Give me a second. take the time to reevaluate who you are. Just sit down and find out where you're going from this point and reinvent yourself. And know that now that you have somebody looking at you at all times. And whatever you used to do, you're going to have to let it go. So if you was a knucklehead, you're going to have to stop being a knucklehead because you don't want your child to be a knucklehead.
Yeah.
Because he will pick it up. And
that's for sure.
Yeah, he going to pick up little things from you. He may not do everything you do, but he will start picking up things. And that's the last thing you want. You don't want your child picking up the bad parts. So you're going to have to, change yourself. You're going to have to change. That's the only thing I can really tell a new father is change your ways. Learn as much as you can, about just different things. Learn to be more cultured. So that way you could, really give your kid, the seeds he need to grow, and just learn together. Don't be closed-minded. Open up. Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, I think that's all. That's great advice.
Yeah.
I think you said it too in a way that I didn't even kind of put together myself. Where it's like that gives you being dad gives you a chance to reinvent yourself.
Yeah, you reinvent yourself because now you got to look at it. You are your father, your provider. So now it is your job to make sure this child gets all the tools he needs to survive out here in this world. And on top of that, that means you got to think of your career and you getting up, the money or whatever to make sure you could help him go to the next level of schooling. Like, what school you want your child to go to when they get to junior high school? What college you want them to go to? If they tell you, I want to go to Brown, will you have the money to support that? So you got to think about these things. That I want to go to NYU. I want to go to, I want to go to Harvard or something. You got to make sure you're in place to help them. Even if they don't want to go to these schools, they may just want to go to BMCC. But you're in position to help them with whatever they want to do. So that means, like I said, if you on knucklehead time, you got to get off the knucklehead time, and you got to step it up every day. Reinvent yourself every day. Read a book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, read a few while you're at it.
Read a few. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, I'm doing that every day. I'm learning. I'm learning new stuff, and like I said, with parenting, I'm learning, and I'm trying to get more in that zone of being like, this is what I want my child to do. Helping them every step of the way. Like, okay, they want to do this, I can help them. She needs help with this, I can help her. And just have my child be able to think at the same time on her own too, and come to me and say, yo, listen, this is what I want to do.
Well, from what I can see from everything that you put out there, you really seem like you're doing the right thing, and you got all the right ideas.
At least that's what I hope so.
Yeah, hey, listen, more power to you, because I think if more people followed your lead, I think there'd be a lot more well-prepared kids out there, a lot of kids that are coming from better situations. Like I think you're out there you're fighting the good fight.
Yeah,
and I take my hat off to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So are you.
Thank you.
All my other brothers too that's out there that are making a difference for their children. I mean, taking them out of the struggle and putting them in and raising them in different environments. The chaos, getting themselves out of the chaos, and then raising the family in a structured environment. That's what these kids need, man. They gotta when you're still in the chaos and then you have children in the chaos, forget about it.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, it's easy to have kids, but it takes a lot of work to be a father.
Yeah, it does.
So.
It absolutely does, man. And it's nonstop. It's nonstop because
it's a full-time job. It's
full-time. Me and my dad, he's still. When I get around him, I still feel like that 7 year. I'm like I said, I'm 44 years old, and I get around him, and I'm still feeling like that little boy, looking up to his old man. Like I'm 7 years old, like in awe, like when he dropped jewels on me about stuff, when we vibing about this and vibing about that and talking back and forth as men, And I'm quite sure for him, he probably like, man, where did the time go? You know what I'm saying? And he
Absolutely.
yeah, so I'm just trying to do that for mines.
Well, like I said, man, I give you all the credit in the world. I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah,
and I want to thank you again for coming on the show. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sorry it took so long.
Nah, it's all good, man, because look, I mean, you went from just doing it audio, and then now you're doing it video now, and then you got a place where the guests could come through now.
Yes, I saw an opening, man. I took it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we got to do this again, and this time I got to come out to your spot, man. We
do this I would love it, brother. I would love it.
Yeah, I got if I'm, like I said, I'm gonna talk to Adam and stuff like that.
Yeah, get both of you guys over here.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I'll talk to you off the air, about what I said before.
So before we go, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out?
Well, right now I'm just in transition, like this music and stuff, and just being creative with that. Nothing really, concrete yet, in the works, but definitely when I finally figure it out, and I'm like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do. Definitely, I'm gonna let you know on that. Yeah.
All right, you know where to find me, man. I'm here waiting.
All right.
All right, for all the listeners, thanks for tuning in. You guys know where to find us as usual at APodAmongstMen on Instagram and Twitter. APodAmongstMen@gmail.com for any long-form questions, anything you want us to talk about on the show. I'm happy to hear from you. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. That helps a lot. And if you're listening and not watching, same thing for iTunes, Spotify. Make sure you subscribe. Give us a rating, a review. All that stuff helps. It goes a long way for us getting boosted in the algorithms. Neek, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Pleasure.
Thank you again.
Same here.
And I'm looking forward to talking to you again. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.